Those who obsess with death, let them soon be acquainted with it.
Hey guys, and one gal, EVERSEEN here. Today's video is going to be covering the new Pinnacle boss, XESHT, the Breach Lord. This video is going to be all about the mechanics that we've seen in all of the early access footage. I'm going to be going over each one individually and giving tips on how to avoid his mechanics. Now, since we have seen the actual full boss fight from XESHT, I can confidently say that there are no hidden mechanics. The only thing hidden would be that when you actually raise the difficulty through the Breach Atlas tree, I'm almost certain that just like in PoE 1, the movesets will change when you raise the difficulty of these Pinnacle encounters. For the first ability I want to cover, it's this Breach Hand that XESHT will spawn in the arena. It channels energy, which will then explode for cascading waves of what looks like to be lightning damage. It's best to just not be in this circle when the channeling is complete, and it looks like you also take damage if you're within that channeling circle while it's trying to complete its duration. Now, in this gameplay, this player actually did something really smart. When the waves are cascading, at the very end when they're cascading, the last two waves, they actually leapt over them to secure some damage to XESHT and get right back into the fight. So for this clip here, you can see XESHT goes into a breach circle and then channels around the arena, sort of like crawling with his hands. And then once he's under your character, he will do a clapping motion up out of the breach circle. Now, the easiest way to dodge this ability is just when he does get under your character, dodge roll out of the way. As a side note, I do want to touch on the freezing mechanics that are happening throughout this boss fight. Now, as you can see below the boss's health bar, there is actually a couple of icons. One of these icons being Chill, which will have a percentage which reduces the action speed of the boss. Freeze, on the other hand, will actually have an icon with a yellow border that will charge up over time, where you can actually pre-plan to inflict a freeze on a boss. For the next attack, XESHT will shoot 2 projectiles out of either hand. He charges up and then does 3 attacks. Now, in all these clips, you can see that the player is actually trying to hug the boss, which is a good tactic, it seems. But at the same time, with the knockback factor, it actually makes this kind of unpredictable. So in one of these clips, you can actually see they almost get killed because they choose to do the wrong direction. I think the best course of action here is to just time your rolls so that you can actually roll right before the projectile hits your character. So I've slowed this first clip down, and you can actually see that the player is abusing this slow turn radius of XESHT. So these first 2 attacks don't even hit him because they hug the boss and force the boss to turn slowly. With this move here, XESHT conjures up a fireball above his head. It will then shoot towards your character. This is a very slow and telegraphed move, and I don't think anyone's really going to have an issue with this. So with this next move, it looks like XESHT will summon 2 breach circles with 2 icy archers that will send a barrage of cold projectiles at your character. This is going to be extremely deadly if you get in between them or if you get way too close to these archers. The player in this gameplay actually did a really good job at making distance with these archers and also bob and weaving back and forth to avoid all the projectiles. For this next move, I only saw this twice in this whole entire fight, so it seems to be more of a rare move, but looks like it can be a very clear one-shot. He channels up a lot of energy and then shoots it linearly from the boss's model. It looks pretty easy to dodge, though, if you just hug the boss and then walk in a circle. Now, this next move looks to be one of the more deadly moves in the boss fight. XESHT will conjure up a breach hand out of the ground, which will then float above your character. You'll see a silhouette of a hand on the ground, so that's where you know not to be. Basically, all you gotta do is run, and then as soon as you see it coming down, you can roll right out of the way, or you can really just, it looks like, walk out of it. The only thing is you just have to be paying attention to this move. It just is going to be hard when you have other things that you need to pay attention to later on in the fight when XESHT goes to like a second phase. So for this next move, it really just looks like XESHT is powering up because it only happens once in the fight, and then after this actually happens, the fight just gets even more rampant. There's one new move that happens after this. It looks like the side rooms or the hallways that you would use for the other projectile attack. Those look like there's breach hands coming out of the walls and then scraping those grounds. So maybe that is part of the phase change. where you'll actually take damage if you go into those breach arms. This right here seems to be the new move that I was talking about, where breach arms will come out of breach circles and then slam the ground. I did not see one of these arms before this phase change where he did the empowered thing, so I believe that is only a phase 2 independent ability. Now, I believe I covered all of the moves in this video. If I did miss any, let me know, but there were also a couple weird cuts in the whole gameplay that I watched. Basically, like, the footage got cut, so I don't know if the player had actually died in the fight, and then they had to revisit the fight, so they just jump cut the footage, so that you didn't actually have to watch the death to getting back to the boss. But it seems a little weird to me. It could be one of two things. Either they were dying, or they are hiding a boss mechanic from us. So that's all I have today, guys, for covering the boss XESHT. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the whole boss fight here for you guys to watch, yap a little bit, and then I'll take off and you guys can watch the rest of the fight if you want. If you guys did see any moves I missed, please let me know in the comments, because I definitely analyzed the fight a bunch of times, but maybe I missed something crucial. Now, I know that PoE 2 isn't actually out yet, and I haven't actually done the boss myself, but I do plan to do a more updated guide on all the bosses once I actually get to them. Probably going to be doing the Pinnacle bosses first, because I feel like they're going to be the most popular and also the most difficult for new players and also experienced players to engage with. Now, by the time you're actually watching this video, I'm probably attempting Uber Maven in HCSSF in PoE 1. If you do actually want to come hang out and maybe ask questions about the game, or just watch me try and take on some Ubers. This will be the first time that I've ever done Uber Maven, so I'm actually really excited. But yeah, that's enough of me yapping. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, and I'll see you later. Cheers.